great.
Yeah, Mariana is Lovidin,
Okay.
Mosenetu Minashi, and
And
Maricel.
okay. And I would like to see the people while I'm doing this. Can you all see each other? Because I can't see you guys.
Put it on the other, instead of a speaker.
Instead of the speaker view.
Stop sharing for
Got it. I needed to see. Okay. So I should say here, gallery view. Okay. Here we go. You can't see them. Okay. Let's see. Can you unmute yourself and tell us if you can see it? Because I can't see anybody or see the chat at this point. Or
Yeah.
somebody can.
Yes, I can see the presentation.
Okay. I can't see your faces or the chat.
I can see both. I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Okay, great.
And now I think everybody's here.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Okay. Okay, great. So we're going to Egypt, the November 13th to the 24th. And we're very excited because Spirit had led us to Sacra Indigo. In 2018, I was really called to come to Egypt, and Spirit told me it was best to go in 2022, that there was a special reason to go in 2022. So I waited very patiently. And when I started researching, this destination, I really wanted, and I felt that I really
Can't hear you now.
Andreina also bought into my idea of coming to Egypt. She also felt the calling and decided to hop in the project with me. So I'm very excited to have her being part of Andreina Pradas, who's here. I don't know if you can see her. I think my video is off, but okay. So Sacra is a sacred pilgrimage guide. That's her company, and is an Asian mysteries teacher and a priestess of Ma'at with a wealth of experience of bringing people to Egypt and leading into the ancient mysteries of Egypt through her workshops and trips that she organizes and when she goes also. I will talk a little bit more about Andreina and Sarah in a little bit. So why Egypt is, well, I guess if all of you are here, you all feel the calling to this destination. Obviously, is one of the most important spiritual places on earth. And because we really heard that calling to visit, we feel that this year is very important because I feel it's very connected to Mary Magdalene, and specifically with all that I've been sharing for many years and receiving in the connection with Isis, no, the Mother Isis, and so it feels like there's part of this journey that is still remains a mystery to me until we are there this upcoming November as to what the journey will be. But I can already anticipate that it will be a journey where we will have, revelations, initiations, deep
I can't hear you again, Maria.
So this year is a year of cosmic alignment. Everything, you know, all the star alignment.
Maria, you keep breaking in and out. We can't really hear you.
I think we just lost. Oh no, she's still there. Maria, can you hear us?
Something different, but based on the different experiences that a lot of people that I know that have been going to Egypt are receiving, and because of also the visions and the connection already we're feeling here prior to traveling to Egypt. We're going to experience the culture guided by the experts, and that's why someone like Sarah was so important for us to be part of this journey, because and people, and also went there with her teacher, which is someone who's very well known and who I keep breaking up. So Sarah, why don't you take it from here?
Okay, I have a suggestion. Do you have Zoom on your phone? Can you call in on your phone?
Yes.
I can also put the information to call in the chat.
Here, I'm here with Andreina's iPhone. You can see me.
You need to put an audio.
Okay, so we'll click this audio.
I suggest that you two have only one.
Yeah.
You're together. Just cut the one for Maria and just stay with Andreina's.
Yeah.
Those two may be interfering.
It's not working. Can you hear the interference now? Interference?
No, you're good now.
No. Let me see now.
Yeah, it seemed to be stronger now. The signal seems to be stronger on the phone.
Because I think I was muting the computer, I was still getting that noise. I think can you pass the presentation as a host now or no?
I'll pull it
Because
up. I have it here. So
okay, I think that would be best. So that way we stop sharing here.
okay.
Wow.
So we were, I think, here. Yeah.
Do you want this will stop other screen sharing? Yes, I want to stop. Okay. Let me see.
You still have two screens.
Let's see. I don't even know.
Well, I can hear you well now.
Okay.
And I've got it up.
You're
on-
sharing the screen, so we're no longer sharing our screen here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, great. So we're seeing your presentation as we're seeing your desktop, Sahra. So I think you will need to download it so we don't see it like opening in from your computer. And I'll continue as we're sharing. Everybody can hear me better now? Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, great. Phew. Woohoo. All right. Okay. And so I'm here in the video. Okay, great. So, so this year is very important. I don't know if you follow people that have been traveling to Egypt, but it's been like a confirmation that this year is important to go to Egypt, because I don't know, there's maybe like 10 people, no, there's probably like 20 people I know who have gone to Egypt. And I know 3 people who have organized journeys there, spiritual journeys this year. And that was a confirmation. I also had an amazing experience with someone who says he's been doing a lot of spiritual work for years. His name is Matias Di Stefano. And he closed his 2-year pilgrimage of Egypt this year. And we had this spiritual connection, and it was tied to Egypt. And that was incredible. He ended his tour with these keys that I sent him to a friend. And so that's a whole other story that I will share later. But it just was a big sign that we were on the right track, no, to go this year to Egypt. And what was very clear too is that we needed to go in a very private way. And so when I talked to Sakra, she told me, okay, these kind of trips, I like to design them in this way, where you have your private dahabiya boat on the Nile. And so Andrina and I took very seriously all her recommendations, because it's very different to go on a boat on the Nile with, hundreds of people that we don't even know, especially if we're going to be also doing spiritual work, no? So not only the tourist aspect, which is going to be fun and great, but also the spiritual connection that we're all going to have. So maybe we can come down to the other page. You know me already, all of you. Andreina, and I'm going to give the phone to Andreina also, because you also know her, but just so that she can give her an introduction.
I just want to say quickly that with all that has been happening in the last 2 years and what continues to happen to the people I work with, I think this trip is not only an amazing place that I'm going to let Sarah to explain, but as Maria mentioned, I truly believe there is something that is going to happen to each of us who are meant to go into this trip. We're not advertising this as we used to advertise some other things, because we have been told that the people who are coming are already selected in a spiritual way. So if you are here, it's because there is something that you needed to hear, either if it is with us but there is a calling that is taking you to this place. And we're so excited that we picked the right person to manage the trip and to create this amazing experience. And I'll let Sarah introduce herself a little bit more and continue with the schedule.
Thank you both. I am just been so honored to get to know you and design this beautiful journey of your dreams. My company is called Sacred Witness Pilgrimages, and I've been leading and guiding tours in Egypt since 2012. One of my dear teachers, Nikki Spelly, handed me the baton of the work that she began in the 80s. So she started leading pilgrimages to Egypt in the early 80s. And I think she took maybe 60 tours, thousands of people through the land of Egypt. So I feel really humbled and honored to carry on in her tradition. And I want to just, something you said earlier, you said, the trip is beginning to inform you of itself. And that's something really beautiful about Egypt, is that they're the Egyptian mysteries for a reason, right? That if we knew everything that was going to happen when you go to Egypt, it wouldn't be a mystery. And so what happens in Egypt is you have an idea. We have an itinerary. You're going here on this day and there on that day. And these are the temples and the gods or goddesses that are represented in the temples. And so there's a framework, there's a foundation, but it's when you arrive in Egypt that Egypt really begins to speak to you and speak to your guides. And when we arrive in Egypt with an open heart and an open mind, then doors are opened and the mysteries begin to share themselves with you. So I am super excited for this journey for you. And I wish that I was going to be with you in person. Instead, I'll be holding my wings around you as you move through the land in November and loving you up from afar. But alas, I cannot be there with you. So I've done everything to pull together a beautiful tour with lovely hotels and an amazing Egyptologist who will be there to provide the more historical context of the places you'll be and to answer questions about Egypt. Really good staff that I trust explicitly. So let me move away from my picture here. Hold on. There we go.
I want to say something real quick, that we're going to have like a chaperone with us the whole trip. So we really are going to this destination being very well taken care of. And so the Egyptologist will be taking care of all the historic aspect, and then Andrina and myself will be grounding all the spiritual work that we're going to be doing while we're there and prior to the trip also, because as you see towards the end, we are including some preparation with this trip.
Beautiful. So there's a number of locations that you'll get to go. And I've been to all of these places many times. And each time I go there, I'm in awe and just touched in my soul about the beauty and the messages that come through, the information, and the way that I grow every time I'm there. And I know that it will be true for you as well. So you'll have a visit to the plateau where the pyramids are and the Sphinx lives, welcoming every day. The Sphinx looks to the east and waits for the sun to rise. You'll visit the museum. It's possible we have the Museum of Egyptian Civilization here, but there is a small possibility that the Grand Museum will be open. And if the Grand Museum is open, then and perhaps that will be the spot you'll go to, one museum or the other. And it's really important to go to the museums, one or the other of them, because the museums provide you an insight into the beautiful statues and because there were so many statues that were in the temples that are no longer in the temples. So when you go to the museum to begin your trip, you meet all of these deities in their statue form, and you see the amazing sacred skill that the artisans had to create such pieces of art. And so you have that in your vision, in your mind, and your heart as you then go to visit the various places, like Philae, which is the temple for Isis, or Aset is her true name. Isis is a Greek version of her name. Komombo is a beautiful, it's one of my favorite, well, they're all my favorite temple. My favorite temple is the temple I'm in when I'm there. But Komombo is a beautiful temple dedicated to Horus, the elder. There's two Horuses in Egypt. The elder is the brother of Aset, of Isis, and Osiris, and Set, and Nephthys. The five of them are the siblings of the sky mother Nuit. And so Komombo is to get dedicated to the elder Horus and Sobek, who is a crocodile. And he's kind of fierce. Edfu is a temple dedicated to the younger Horus, who is the son of Aset. Abydos is an amazing temple dedicated to Osiris, or Asir is his original name. Dendera is dedicated to Hathor, and she is just so yummy. She's all about joy and celebration, dance, music. And you can feel that when you're in her temple. You just feel this like warmth in your heart and your womb and your body. It makes you want to sing and dance. Karnak Temple is an amazing complex. It's one of the largest temple complexes in the world. And its main deity is Amun Ra. But there are shrines to many other deities, including a beautiful small chapel that's dedicated to Ptah, who's a creator god. He creates through his word, and his consort Sekhmet. And I'm sure many of you may have heard of Sekhmet. And so there's an amazing statue of Sekhmet at Karnak. Then the Avenue of the Sphinx connects Karnak Temple to Luxor Temple, and you're now able to walk on more of the avenue than once you could. Now they've opened it up between the two temples. And then Luxor Temple is, we call it the Temple of Man, and it really has this quality to it as if you are walking through the body. And the Egyptologist will go into more detail about what that means. And then Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut was one of the female pharaohs who ruled independently, and her mortuary temple on the West Bank is stunning. It is just truly stunning. Another temple called Minet Habu you'll visit. The Valley of the Queens, you may have heard of the Valley of the Kings. And I encourage my own groups, as well as private tours like this one that I manage, to go instead to the Valley of the Queens. It's gentler, it's beautiful. The colors in the tombs are just out of this world. And I really like it so much more. The Valley of the Kings feels very touristy. It feels very commercial. It has a hard kind of energy. So you'll be visiting the Valley of the Queens. And then Old Cairo, which is an older Islamic part of the city of Cairo. And it's an area, Old Cairo is an area where the three monotheistic religions all kind of live together: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And you'll walk through some of the old streets. There's a beautiful church there where you go down into a crypt, and this is where Mother Mary and Jesus were hiding at one point. And so you'll have an opportunity to go visit this area of Old Cairo. You'll be sailing by a quarry where many of the stones were taken to build the various monuments that you'll see. You'll go through the locks at Esna, where the river changes its elevation. So you get to move through that experience. It's quite fun to feel that shift of the water going up and down. There's pools at the hotels. You'll be able to at least get your feet in the water, and some of you may want to go dip your whole body into the river. We'll find a beautiful spot that the water runs clean and clear for you to be able to do that. There's always shopping in Egypt. You'll find that there are vendors all over the place who are eager and happy for you to buy little knickknacks or statues or whatever it is, gifts and treasures to bring home from the country. And there'll be a camel ride along the way, which is really fun. The first time I did it, I wasn't so sure, but then I love it. I love the camel rides. They're really amazing animals. So we'll just kind of breeze through the itinerary. If you are interested in this journey, we'll send you a document that has all the itinerary that you can look at more and spend more time with it. But in brief, you'll arrive in Egypt, or you'll leave to go to Egypt on the 12th. And depending on where you're coming from, most people, if you're coming from the Americas, flying to Cairo, it takes anywhere between 18 and 26 hours transit. And so you'll then end up arriving the next day. I often encourage people to actually leave the day before. So leaving on the 11th and adding an extra night of the 12th, just to give yourself an extra night to sleep, get acclimated in the time change, but it's not required. That's an option up to you. And so then on the very first, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt because we were so late and all that happened. I think that maybe we can really brush through like the itinerary, like just like kind of mention, and then once the people that are interested in attending, because we're going to have 2 classes, one will be like all the details about the trip. We will have 2 classes with Safra, one which will be the like all the logistics aspect, and one that will be a deep dive into or an introduction, let's say, to the ancient of Egypt and the deities, and we will give you like suggested readings before. We're actually, to the people that are registering, gifting Andrina and myself the tarot, the Egyptian tarot deck that Nikki Scully created, because we love it so much, and it's what guided me to Sacra in the first place. And it's just a wonderful way to start getting our feet wet into the ancient mysteries. So I think if we can just brush through and then open it up for questions, because people might have questions, and then Andrina and myself can also go a little bit deeper into why we really feel the calling to bring you to Egypt, and kind of give you a little bit more in depth of that. Because in the end, you can go to Egypt in so many ways, right? You can go and just book a tour from El Corte Inglés from Spain, and they're like super cheap, and you can just go there. But it's not the same when you do a preparation with a spiritual grounding and preparation that we both, Andrina and myself, feel we have been receiving the initiations over these years. And that's why it's so strong in us to do this work. And from a very humble place, we'd say this. Now, from like, really from a very humble and taking it very seriously, but also why you are so important. You're that third force, that it's really, and I know you're also very humble, Safra, but every single thing you've told me has been so on point, and it's the magic mysteries already in the works from the day one that we talked. Yeah. So it's coming through dreams and coming through different aspects. So I think it's important that we just brush through, and also
I know someone has to go, so we will send you the recording, Andreina.
Is Andreina or
yeah. So we will send you if you have a question before you leave, or if you want to contact us later. But
No, it's okay. Looks like a very nice trip. I cannot go because my sister is giving birth in November. We don't know the date, so I just cannot do it. But thank you, and in any case, I will talk to Maria.
Thank you.
Okay, so then I'm just gonna scroll through here, and you tell me when you want to stop and talk about the slide again. Okay, bye. So throughout the tour, we guide you through all these various places. We take care of all of the transportation and accommodations that you will receive.
I think also what you mentioned the other day, Sarah, was that we can share with everybody is that when we're there, and I love this when you told us that the temples have their own voice. So we will have that moment where we will be guided by the Egyptologists to have that very grounded historic facts, but we are all going to have our own silent moment browsing through the temple to really have that personal experience. We will have a personal experience, each one of us, and we will have a group experience also. Can you tell us a little bit more about that magic of the temples?
Yes, absolutely. Whoops. it's important to have the Egyptologists provide a overview of the temple and what's there and where you are, and to receive that kind of information from his perspective, but then to walk and feel and listen and be guided by the temple itself. I always love to feel the temple and then to go to places that I'm drawn, where I look at the walls. And even if I don't read the hieroglyphs there, I know some hieroglyphs at this point, but I don't read them fluently. I still intuit what I need to find. And I always find messages in every single temple. The walls tell me what I need to know. It's the beauty of the hieroglyphs, is even if you're not reading it as the Egyptians meant those words to mean, they mean something to you. And so, and then whatever the intentionality that you're bringing to each day and to the whole journey will then be, it's almost like every temple's an initiation. It's really amazing.
And I also would like to mention something we talked about, is that this journey is, we're going to the temples early. So this is like the rising sun tour. We're going to go with that energy of the rising sun. Why is this so important spiritually? Is because the ether and the energy at the time of the rising sun is crucial for the connection, a spiritual connection. I've been practicing a Vedic sacred fire since 2004, which is exactly at the sunrise and exactly at sunset time. The sunrise time, the connection that happens is different from where you are in another time of the day. So I love that you brought into place that for other reasons as well, which is
well, in the morning at sunrise, the light of Egypt is something special. And the morning light in Egypt is particularly potent. So there's that quality. There's this, I can't even put words onto the quality of the light in the morning. And it also is a time of day when many of the normal tourists aren't getting up to go to the temples. So the temples are much quieter. You can hear them speak to you more loudly. I mean, not literally loudly, but spiritually loudly when there's not a lot of people there. So getting there in the mornings early when the temple first opens up is the perfect time of day to be there. You'll see why when you're there, and when the sun is rising and the light is hitting the stones, and it's just, it's so amazing.
Thank you. And I think that's very important to know, because it's a journey where we would have to be, you know, we wake up early. It's not like, but then we have the journey on the boat, which will be around four nights, I think on the boat.
Yeah.
And so that will give us time on the boat to relax. It's our private boat. It's a traditional Egyptian boat that was built for the queens and the kings, for the royalty.
Sure.
And so, so while we're there, we'll be able to hold circles at night and and it even has a hot tub. The boat has a hot tub. So we can even go that route if you want to at night and just really relax, enjoy while we will be sailing. You can just enjoy the view and the ocean and take in everything that you're taking in during the journey, during the day, and have that time of integration.
It's an amazing moment of integration when you're moving on the Nile. It feels timeless. It is truly timeless.
And I've heard that from everyone who's been there. We will be also holding, and I think, and this is Andrina and myself, we've been talking about this. We believe a lot in bringing gifts wherever we go. So part of this journey is we are bringing offerings, love offerings to Egypt, in the form of songs, in the form of dance, in the form of also what each one of us have been cultivating in our hearts all these years. Because I know all of you, and I know all of you in this call, and the people that already signed up for the journey have been doing a lot of work spiritually. And maybe not only in this lifetime, maybe you don't even know your soul that well, but your soul, if you come to this trip, I know it's bringing you the love in your heart. It's an offering to these temples. And I talked about this with Sahra and Andreina. And Sahra said something that I intuitively knew, is that each of these temples are like an acupuncture point on the earth. And what I really connected with was that when we're there, when we go to these places, and these temples maintain the fluidity of the connection from heaven and earth, fluid for all of us, for the whole world. And so that's something I felt in my heart so strongly. And going there very humble with a pure heart. Sahra says, that's when the magic really opens, when the ancient mystery starts to reveal themselves to you. And why is it important? And I asked this to Sahra. I cannot have an answer myself, but ask yourselves too during this call. Why is it important to go to possibly the most important spiritual place on earth? I think all earth is important and sacred, but Egypt is probably #1 destination for years as one of the, epic journeys that you want to go and visit. And why is it important to have these ancient mysteries be revealed to you? How does this change your life and transform your life? Sahra.
I've been there 18 times at this point since 2012. And every time I go is like a deepening and a new initiation. And I'm guiding my groups through, and I'm also receiving at the same time. And every time I learn something more about my connection to spirit, my connection to the earth, my connection to the heavens, my connection to my heart, every single time. And that acupuncture kind of idea is that each step you take on holy ground is activating those acupressure points on the planet. And as those steps are activating those pressure points, it's also activating your own holy essence, your own sacred essence. And so what each person brings, the intention they bring, becomes what they receive, right? And so, it's just truly remarkable. It's truly remarkable.
Thank you for sharing that, because it's very important. You mentioned something that is intention. I was going to say intensity, but also intensity, but the intention, no? And Andreina, I know you want to talk about intention. Talk about that. No? The container we're going to be creating beforehand, and the intention as a group and as personally, and
Yeah, what we want to create is a journey of towards transformation. So as Maria mentioned, we're going to have monthly calls. We're going to have some calls and training with Sahra, and we're going to also recommend some books, and we're going to study together and learn together, because it's not just to go there and visit, it's to understand where we're going and prepare ourselves in a spiritual way to have that transformation. We cannot guarantee, and we don't know what's going to happen to each of us, because we all have our path and journey, but we want to guarantee that we create the right space for you to have a great transformation in your life. So this is an amazing trip to an amazing place, managed by the best people we could have gotten, and with the intention to create that experience for you. So that's why for me it's so important that we create this group that is aligned to the spiritual path and to this transformation, to better for ourselves and to the world. We got a confirmation when we met with a teacher a few months ago. She channeled that this trip was going to be not only for the group, but for the world. And I say this, I don't share this with anyone, but it's very humbling to hear that we as a group can create something bigger than better life for ourselves. So I'm in for that. So whoever feels the call to not only work for their own better self, but to contribute to a better planet and world, I mean, for anything we can do and to create that space. So that's the journey we're creating for each of us.
I love that you mentioned that channeling from that person that we truly admire. Because also we will be bringing that to our life when we come back. You know, we're going to bring that to everything we do. I was literally directly told by Spirit, like, you're going to get an initiation you still don't have, Maria. Because, you know, Andrina and myself are doing work together and separate. We're holding space for so many people. Just since pandemia started March 2020 till today, till this last Saturday, we've held private ceremonies, shamanic ceremonies for, I don't know, like around 26 or so, and plus all the other healing and other workshops that we've done. It's hundreds of people, you know, and it's just, we see the need that everybody's needing right now, including us, you know, of course, especially needing that strength, needing that clarity, like really laser focused clarity and direction and connection to Spirit, because we know this time is so important, so crucial. You know, what we do, what we say, what we think is manifesting like things. So really knowing that we have that power, and we want to do that from the center of our heart and the center of the heart of Creator, because these are times that are very, very important, and we've been preparing for this time. You know, we truly can make a difference. We truly from our authenticity, but we need that guidance, and we need those initiations. We never know where they're going to place us. I would just say that Sahara was coming with us to the tour, and next day she's like, oh, they just offered me a position I can't refuse as the director, executive director of this amazing non-for-profit that is doing, you know, amazing work for the world. So you never know. It's not like we're spiritual and we don't have, it's bridging spirituality with everyday things in this world, very grounded spirituality, because it's not like we're not separate from this world. We are very grounded and totally immersed in the world with our children, with our jobs, with our partners, with our family. You know, we're dealing with, but rooted in spirituality, to have that strength and that power.
That's so important. Like, so Egypt, this journey is a journey, right? It's a journey. It truly is a pilgrimage. It's not a vacation, right? It's an experience. And it's not just about the 14 or so days that you'll be in Egypt, right? That's almost like the seed that you receive, and then you bring that seed out into your life, and it's how the whole rest of your life begins to align in a new way. And maybe you go into Egypt feeling amazing and your life is right on track and it's everything you want it to be. Then from that moment forward, what Egypt does is just continue more of that. Or maybe you're questioning what your purpose is and wondering what your path is. And Egypt helps put you on that track of exactly where you're meant to be. And so it ripples out from that experience into your life in really profound and amazing ways. Yeah.
Do we want to open for questions?
Yes, absolutely.
Wait,
We want to be.
do you want me to scroll through the rest of this real quick?
Yes.
And then I can
Yes.
take it off. Okay. And if there's anything you want to speak more about in this, all of this will be in the information. If you request the information, we can send that to you. It's just in a document. I could even put it in the chat so that you can access it. So the various things that are included and what's not included. Do you want to talk about investment?
Yeah, I think we can go back to what's included.
Okay.
So it basically includes, I think one more, is that the first page of includes?
There we go.
Yeah, so it includes the classes with includes the classes with Sahara, 2 classes that we mentioned before, includes all the hotels, the Egyptologists, and our chaperone and all the team that is going to be with us there. It includes certain meals. It includes the breakfast, lunches, and dinners on the boat. And then the other ones are, we will have a lunchbox on one of the trips that we're going, but some of them will be on the road. And so we leave that open because it's hard to know where we're going to stop exactly. And we give you the option of choice of choosing. And we have like really good restaurant also that Sarah has recommended to us, but then we leave it free so that you can choose what you want. Basically, you know, some people are vegetarians, some people are not, so you choose what you want, and it's impossible for us to calculate that beforehand. Alcohol is not really, they don't drink alcohol in Egypt because of their religion, but you know, so plan that it might not be as easy to find alcohol, but we can make it a non-alcoholic if it's possible, but it's not like the regular.
Yeah, they won't have it on the boat, but if someone really would like a bottle of wine, they can find a bottle of wine. And the hotels have bars and that kind of thing as well.
Then we have the domestic flights that we're going to take while we're there, includes the boat, of course, and then the airport transfer. We'll have a car that's going to pick you up at the airport if you arrive within the 24-hour frame of the first day of the tour. If you're coming a day before, which is something that Sarah highly recommends, so that you are clean, you know, you can be grounded and well rested before we start. That's 24 hours, it will be included. If you come 2 days before, it won't be included, basically. It's a $50. All the buses and transportation while you're in Egypt, and of course the hotels, which are really nice hotels. Hotels that Safra knows. We're looking for one that has, like, you know, really good views of the pyramid, and the last day of the tour, we're going to be in a hotel that's very nice and modern, but it's closer to the airport so that you can rest. Because at the end of the tour, you all want to rest a little more and make it easier to go back to the airport.
Yeah.
I think we can change the page now. What's not included is your ticket to Egypt. So that's why it's also good to book this in advance, and we're going to give you the payment plans that we have. And you can start finding that travel arrangements is best for you. Andrina and myself are thinking on going via Spain and stay there a couple of days before. And it's actually cost effective, it's really good. The travel insurance is not included, it's highly encouraged because, you know, now things can be a little crazy with COVID and so forth. So it's always good to have that. The water bottles, I think that part I don't know very well about the water.
Yeah, you know, so in Egypt, it's like some other countries where you don't want to drink the water. You only want to drink bottled water, or bring a water filter, a good strong water filter, which we've had success with on other tours. So so you'll need to buy water, and there's ways for that to happen. Hotels often, I think these hotels all will give you a bottle of water every day, one of the small ones, but you'll want to get more. And when you're out and about, you can get water. The buses always have water on them, cold water. So, and then any drinks that you want to have throughout the journey is not included.
In the boat, I know we have water and everything included.
They'll have drinks are not included. Like if you want a Coca-Cola, or if you want a mango juice or something like that, but they do have coffee and tea available that is included.
In the COVID testing, and that Sarah will share one that we can take with us from here so that it's accepted when we come back, and any additional nights outside the tour dates, and also some extra tipping. So basically there's 2 ways that we need to tip in Egypt. One is already included, But then there's an extra tipping that we give to the Egyptologist. Can you explain a little bit more about that part?
Yeah, so, when the person brings your bags up to your room, giving them 5 or 10 Egyptian pounds is appropriate, and that would be something you'd want to consider. But then what we do is we suggest around $350 per participant that come, and you give that to your beautiful leaders, and then they divide that up to the Egyptologist, to the you'll have what we call a transfer agent. Ehab is his name, Yasser is the guide, and so Ehab and Yasser are with you from the first day until the last day, helping. Ehab is making sure all your buses are on time and taking care of any little things. If you needed something, you would go to him to ask. And then the boat crew as well. So that 350 then gets divided amongst all those people and given to them at appropriate times during the tour. Ehab and Yasser get their tips at the very last evening. What happens is it goes in an envelope, and then you would say, thank you, Yasser, for your fine work, and then you give him his envelope. The reason it's a suggestion, tipping is suggested, but it's also kind of required in Egypt. It's even the Egyptians tip each other. It's a very strong tip, positive kind of culture that way. And so it's suggested the 350, but it also could be more than that. It could also be a little less than that. It's about what you could provide that way.
Mm-hmm. And so we have this price that if you pay in full, you get a discount. We also had the full price is $56.50 if you pay in if you pay it in the payment plan that we have. And Safra is going to explain this in a little bit. And we also had a discount for an early bird registration that Safra and ourselves were discussing before the call, that we want to extend if you register this week. So I'll have Safra explain this part as well.
Sure. So yes, the full price is $56.50. And if you can pay in full, then I offer a discount for pay in full because it's less administration time to manage the various payments. And so that's an encouragement to pay in full if that works for you. And then, yeah, I was thinking before we got on the call today that, this tour is a love more. And so if you're able to register and commit to this tour this week, that I would like to extend an additional $200 discount, whether you pay in full or you make payments, that then we can take another $200 off of your price. And that's really my gift to you. It comes from anything that comes to Mysteries for the work we do to hold this tour. It comes out of that and goes right back to you. So you'll see that the payment dates, there's an April 1st payment date. I create payments based on when we start promoting a trip. And so, and that was in February was when we began promoting. So the payment plan is as it stands. So the first, if you were to register, the first payment due would be the deposit of $1,500, and then the first payment, and then the June 1st would be the next, and August 1st would be the next. Now, if that needed to change a little to make it work for you, then let's just have a direct conversation one-on-one about the payment plan, and I'm open to adjusting it. All payments do need to be in by August 1st, because at that point, I start paying out on your behalf for the tour, for everything, and so I need to have all payments in. And single supplement is a little bit extra. If you want to have your own room, we can do that and make that work for you. It just is the difference that it would be between a single and a double room is what that $1,500 represents. I like checks. If they're US bank checks is great because they don't cost anything except for a stamp on an envelope. I can receive $50 or wire transfers for $50 fee per transfer, or credit cards also work with a 4% fee. That's why I like checks, because they don't cost us much. So
And Tara is super organized. The people who have already registered, she keeps track. She will send you a letter, and then you can send your checks, you know, pre-dated also, and that can work. But everything's very organized and in a good way. So that's the communication.
why?
And we just want to clarify that anything related to payment is through Sarah, and she's the one taking care of the trip. And she will send you an enrollment form with all the details if you are interested. So you will contact us, or you can contact her directly. And then we want to also say that is, as it says down there, that is minimum of 8 people and a maximum of 12 that we said. So it's a small group of people that we're taking to this trip. So very personalized, and
It makes it intimate and beautiful when you're in a small group. Too big of a group, it gets a little, it's just not as close, right?
Yeah, we really want to keep it in this way. And also we added 2 additional gifts aside from this, the $200. So we had this for the special, for the early bird, but Andrina and I thought we were still going to offer it. And one is the Living Happiness program that Andrina created. And so you'll be able to do this program with her before we go. And so she'll give you more details on that. But it's going to be available before we travel.
and then
And then my Activate Your Muse. If you've done this program, it'll be already pre-recorded because we're doing it as we speak right now. If you, so you will do it pre-recorded, but it includes a private session with me. So I think Sophia is here in the call, and Meenakshi was in the call. Both are right now doing the program. And since I gave it, it has evolved quite a bit since I started in 2019. And I know you will really enjoy it. So the registration steps will be, and for men, the Activa tu Musa, the Activate Your Muse, I've given it in group sessions for women, but I have given it in private for men. So, for example, we have Tanis during the call. We will work around that too, okay? Because I also have given this as a private one-on-one to men, because this is a medicine wheel that can be adapted to men as well. Beautiful. Just wanted to mention that. So the steps to register to Egypt. First step, you must send us a video of you dancing like an Egyptian to the dance line. If you qualify, then we'll send you the file. I think Jarmeli could do the dance. Because she's been dancing so much. So beautiful.
thank you for coming, Yarmeli. She's leaving now.
We'll be doing some.
She has to go.
Oh, bye, Yarmeli. You don't have any questions before you go? No? Okay.
Bye.
We'll be doing some embodiment work that I channel. It's called the ISIS dance movement, and I haven't shared that with a lot of people yet, but it's something that we'll be adding to the teachings. So registration steps, after you send us your video of dancing like in the no, I'm kidding. So we will send you the tour policies where everything is, all the information is there, the day by day of the tour, all the travel terms and conditions, and the email, if you have any questions, will be Safra's email that we can put it in the chat right now. You can also reach out to us if you have any questions that we can respond. But Safra is the person who will be taking care of the registration, and then fill out and submit the registration form. Once you do that, Sarah will send you an email back saying she has received your registration form. And then you will be in communication with her. And Sarah, am I missing something?
Nope, that's it. So registration form, once I receive that, then I'll send an invoice through my QuickBooks accounting program. And that will tell you, what the costs are, and it will show your payment plan. You'll also get what I call a pilgrimage info letter that has some other information that you'll need, as well as like a tips information about Egypt, and there's suggested readings that you can access that are not just books that I recommend. Then you'll also be sending in your deposit and any payments due, and there's a signed release form that you can download off of my website. But what I've taken to doing is sending it in a digital form that you can sign digitally. So I will just do that. You'll get the release form from me in a digital way, and you just sign it online and send it back. And so that's taken care of very easily.
Thank you. Do you have any questions, Tanis? I think you're.
I will share something else real quick. Why we have a hummingbird there as our logo is because Spirit told me that we're coming from America, bringing part of this hummingbird in our hearts. It's like the medicine that wants to come to Egypt from the Americas. It's kind of like the land of Egypt is calling the hummingbird.
I love
We
that.
will more when we're there.
Love
In
that.
the native traditions from the Andes, the hummingbird is in the heart chakra. So.
The hummingbird is also one of the only birds that can fly in all dimensions, right? They can go backwards, forwards, sideways, up, down, forwards. And so they're like a multi-dimensional traveler.
Exactly.
So Tanis says no
Tanis,
questions.
no questions? Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Tanis. This looks like a very transformative and very well thought out trip. Thank you so much for sharing. No questions at this time, but I'm sure they will come up. Thank you so much. I think Sophia, I don't know, she's not here anymore. No, she left. So thank you so much for the patience with all of you with the connection. We don't know what happened.
Thank you, Tanis.
But
And to those watching in the future.
yes.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah, so much for your time.
being
Meenakshi, all of you.
Well, and
Thank you for giving the space. We know you're very busy, so thank you.
thank you for listening and hearing the call to go to Egypt and trusting in my holding of your very special journey. I know it is going to be everything and more that you are hoping for.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so you will send us the recording so we can post it? Okay, great.
Thank you for doing that too.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Hummingbird energies.
Bye.